welcome to Natale Astrology. I'm your host, Natale. You're born with a personal natal chart. It's all the planets in the solar system at the moment you're born. It doesn't change, but the planets are still moving. So it's basically like that is the clock for you, but the hands on the clock are still moving, and those are the planets that are going around forever. Uranus is the one we're talking about right now, and it's very slow. It takes 84 years for it to return to its start. I'll show you. Hang on a sec. If somebody's born with Uranus in the first house, it'll stay in the first house for their entire life. Their natal chart doesn't change. But Uranus in reality is still moving through the solar system, and when it reaches 180 degrees, it's called an opposition. This person is having their Uranus opposition. What do you need to know about this? Well, there's a correlation with major biographical shifts, sudden changes, creative awakenings, unexpected disruptions within life structures that are already established, psychological turning points. There's breakthroughs, breakdowns, and periods of innovation. Not only periods of innovation, but also rebellion. Dr. Richard Tarnas, who wrote the book Cosmos and Psyche, said that transiting Uranus, forming aspects and relationships to a person's natal Uranus, correlated with periods of greater than usual potential for sudden radical shifts and breakthroughs of various kinds. Chicken fight. Some of the examples that Dr. Tarnas cites in his book include Galileo, who made his first telescopic discoveries in 1609 to 1610, Rene Descartes, who was publishing his Discourse Method in 1637, which is the foundation of modern philosophy, and Isaac Newton in 1687, who published Principia, which was the foundation of modern science. What do they have in common? They were all in their Uranus oppositions. This is the full moon point in the Uranus personal transit cycle, which is a once-in-a-lifetime illumination. It's a clear look at yourself, at what you're here to do, your creativity, what you can make in this world. It's a direct connection straight into this revolutionary piece of you that's here to create something, make something, and give something back to the world. As if Galileo, Descartes, and Newton aren't enough, we also have Sigmund Freud in 1895, who made his discoveries leading to the birth of psychoanalysis. Einstein and the theory of relativity, opposition of Uranus. Darwin and the theory of natural selection, opposition of Uranus. Of course, there are overlapping other transits that were involved in all these individuals' charts. I mean, everybody's chart is different. But the thing they have in common is all of these incredible discoveries happened during their Uranus opposition. And you might be thinking, yeah, sure, of course, Einstein, Descartes, Galileo, they're very, very famous. But what about regular people? Well, even in his examination of a larger range of individuals, Tarnas found, beyond the well-known, that this transit regularly coincided with dramatic turning points in people's lives. It intensified their desire to break free from existing structures in their life, and lots more, which we'll be talking about in another video. When I first read this book, it was so amazing to me. I thought, why isn't everybody talking about this? I thought it was fascinating. Like, why aren't more astrologers talking about the Uranus opposition and making the most of it for their clients? He does briefly talk about two women in the book, Rosa Parks, who in 1955 refused famously to leave her seat on the bus, and Betty Friedan, who in 1962 and 63 wrote The Feminine Mystique, the birth of modern feminism. With women not really represented as much in this list, it always kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. But then I had this amazing discovery. You won't believe the correlation of these incredible women. All have something very specific in common and have shaped our modern culture. I can't wait to tell you all about them in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the time that we spend together. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Tell me more.